What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all-new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's get into it. I've already saw the trailer for the upcoming season. I am excited. It's going to be a lot. But this episode definitely pissed me off towards the middle and the end, starting with the two main people that pissed me off, Martell and Marceau. I'm going to let you know why. Let's get into it. So, it's the next day after the dinner where Marceau dropped the bomb that he's felt depressed. All the guys are having breakfast, and Marcel believes that the weekend was a success. I said, success where? Where? Between the fights, between the messiness, what success? Between you making your wife look like a fool and embarrassed her? What success, Marcel? Okay, good night. Even though he said everybody got some things off their shoulder, even he did. Everybody's packing. Kimmy tossed the t-shirt and she asked how she's doing because she was surprised that Marceau didn't do the chapel thing. It shocked her. I'm like, I don't think you were shocked, Kimmy. I think you knew that Marceau wouldn't do no shit like that. You knew that. And then the whole depression thing. Where did that come from? That shocked her. Fatisha shocked to her too because they do not talk. They don't talk. They don't communicate. And that's been the main thing that she wanted to get therapy for. Because that's what the problem is. The last 3 years of their marriage have been rocky. So they don't conversate, they don't communicate. It's been a lot of repressed feelings. It's been a lot of keeping things inside. And she knows that the majority of it is him being stressed. And that's why she suggested therapy. Since he's acting so stressed out and he doesn't feel like he needs to come to her, then why don't we do therapy? If you're not comfortable talking to me, maybe feel comfortable talking to someone else, a professional. And at the end of it, you know what I'm saying, she hates the fact that she is traveling with the kids. It's just her and the kids because she wanted that family dynamic. That's all she ever wanted was that family, the white picket fence, the house, and the dog, and the family. So she's tired of always being the main one with the family. And for Kimmy, she understands that because being married to Maurice is the same thing. He is not prioritizing his time to be there for a monster and to also be present for his wife. And as when we tend to take the slack and just put a big smile and just keep it going for them. Since they working so hard, we got to make sure we're working hard on our part too. And she just feels like whenever Marceau gets into this mode, he'll just accept things, you know. Wait. No. I take that back. I'm sorry. I know my notes are weird. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing that Tisha's been asking this entire time. She wants time with Marceau. She wants him to have time with the kids. But he does not plan it out. He doesn't balance it right. And it's exhausting. So basically, you know, they just want to come to a whole camaraderie and say, listen, I'm glad we're good. And I wanted to leave it here. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Cool. Tiffany realized that she had a good time. It was some tension. Destiny put her to the side to have a sidebar conversation and say, I want us to get together one-on-one so we can understand what exactly are we. We have moments where we're good. We have moments where we're bad. I want to know where it's at. So Tiffany suggests a spa day, a nail day, so we can see where that goes. Yep. There we go. Yep, there you go. So the men are sitting around eating steaks and they're just having a conversation about the depression thing. And Marceau, he just pretty much finding time. There's not enough time in the day to think for himself, have fun for himself. All work, no play. Maurice understands that. Also coming from the fact that they're all bosses. I don't know about Martell. Martell's not a boss for nothing right now. But they're all bosses, so they employ people. So they're also feeling the stress of making sure that the business that they have stays afloat, because they also got to be prepared for financing other families. You know what I'm saying? You got a family, you got to make sure that can still work for you. You got to be sure you can pay them, the benefits, and all that comes on your shoulders. If you got to find a way to make more money, you have to do it. It all comes on you. Which I can understand that. And sometimes Martell admits that he's fighting depression because there are times where he doesn't want to go nowhere. He doesn't want to do nothing. And of course, considering the fact of what both him and Mel have gone through, I'm pretty sure they've all have taken some time to be to themselves. Go into the closet with a blanket and just not do nothing. Just don't come out for nothing. Which I can understand. Marceau sometimes feels like time does not stop. He could feel 8 o'clock in the morning coming, whether it be Sunday, Monday, or Saturday. 8 o'clock is coming. and don't have any time for himself. He feels like if he's so focused on something, he's missing out on something else. He's not keeping up with whatever is behind him. He can't make sure he is doing everything all at once, because there is no such thing as you can do it all at once. You can't. You got to focus on what's important, what you can do, and then figure out a way to get those things as they come along. That's how you have to do it. And yeah, I said all that. Mel said this weekend was a disaster for her because it wasn't the right time. It was still fresh for her and Martell be on the same roof for a period of time. Because the 2 instances that she got with him where her peace was disturbed, they yelling back and forth, it was just not good. And she's definitely feel like her peace, her energy has been depleted. So she feels like, thank you, Marcel and Tisha, for giving me that invitation. But as of right now, how I'm feeling this time was too soon. Destiny, she's still feeling how she's feeling when it came down to Tiffany. Even though they have agreed to a date to talk about it, she still gets on her nerves. And let's see if we can go from there. 1 week later, Mel. So after Vegas, there was an incident between happened to her and Martell, and on her page or a message on her commentary that happened about the incident, someone says pray about it. So she did, and God told her, God said go. So she ended up light switching. That means she created shirts. Hand shirts, fanny packs, hats, face masks of God said go. Meaning God said go to a whole lot of things you're holding on to. Letting go of a job you can't stand. Letting go of a relationship you don't need to be in anymore. Letting go of being in toxic relationships that you don't need to be in. Just letting it go. Which I could definitely understand. Sometimes you cannot. It's just the whole thing about trying to keep it all together when you just can't. God says go ahead and go. This is not just taking too much time for your energy. You don't need it. Just let go. Let go. And I definitely understand that. Tiffany came by because also in the beginning of the season, when Tiffany was first introduced, Tiffany is also a Chamber of Commerce, which means she obviously know how to plan people work, and she's also about for the HBCUs. So Mel needed interns for her classes, her master classes and everything, and she also wanted to get them before the fall semester. But ever since everything came about, we forgot what Tiffany's main objective was. She just became that messy, shaded person who did not know how to read the room. We forgot she actually had something else to bring to the table. We just haven't gotten into it yet. So she's wanting to know where we're going, because we need to get this in the ball rolling. Mel apologizes for pretty much being MIA. Because after Vegas and after that incident, she just had to go into hiding. Did not receive no phone calls. Did not return no phone calls. So she apologized to Tiffany for doing that. And she also wants to apologize on Destiny's behalf with the whole dragon situation. And she wants to understand, want you guys to get back to a better place, because she is sensitive with Destiny. Destiny has also gone through something traumatic, which is a divorce. She's also a divorced woman and now a single mother of a child. So she just feels like, maybe there are some things that I'm more sensitive to when it comes to her. And Tiffany understood that as well, because Tiffany went through a divorce too. So she knows what it means when it comes to you are acting out from something that you haven't fully talked about. You haven't fully addressed it. Destiny has not talked about her divorce at all this season. It's just been announced. She's divorcing, that's it. What exactly is Destiny going through? I can't say that she was using her divorce as a lash out between, the Barrick Avenue towards Tiffany. No, what Tiffany did definitely warned her to have an attitude, of course. But Destiny, you have held your divorce. You've held your pain this entire time. And while I have said this the entire time this season, I want to know more about how you're feeling, Destiny, because I feel like you're doing the same thing you did with the chicken thing. You are dragging this, how Tiffany made you feel at your party, throughout the entire season. I get it. That wasn't her place. But I feel like there's something else, because the tea that she said that was cold, it struck a nerve to you. Something that we have not known about, so we have not heard about when it comes to your relationship or your ex-relationship with your husband. It's something else. So with that, I feel like it's 2 and 2 for me. Is her actually having a reason to come at Tiffany because she said something that wasn't her place to do. But Destiny, you did go through something that we don't know how you feel about it. So that's all I want you to do. And Tiffany breaks down and says, you know what? As women, we need to be examples for other women. We need to bring each other up and not tear each other down. And going through something that's traumatic as a divorce, we know how that can feel, and it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to be broken. And when you go through soul searching, you get out that tunnel, and you still can come out as broken, but at least you know where it's coming from. At least you know how to handle it. Excuse me. And And then of course, the whole thing about us being there for one another. So of course they both agreed to meet up, and we're gonna see where that goes. Martell. Martell, he's taking his son to Lewis's gym because obviously his son has had a not a knack, an interest in baseball. And he wanted to see if Lewis can take him on. So of course he tries, he throws, he has a really good arm, he knows how to hit the ball, that's good. It's all about the development of skills, social skills, communication skills, fundamentals, learning things. My son's the same way. He's in basketball, so he's definitely learning how to be around other people and having conversations, and also in something that he likes. So they go to separate corners, talk about some things, and they're talking about Vegas. How'd that go? And after, yeah. So basically, Lewis is checking him and say, you got out of the character in Vegas. And Martell's talking about how he wants to understand his anger. He wants to control it. He's doing better. He got some work to do. Okay, Lewis said, I hear you. I hear you saying that that you're trying to work on your issues, your anger issues. You're trying not to take things to the extreme. But what we saw in Vegas was not what you just said. You literally was about to lunge at this woman of a conversation that you guys had. And listen, not every action, not every response needs a reaction. You know what I'm saying? You cannot always have something to say when she says something. Granted, women want to have the last word. We do. But you need to focus on your response. You can't control what she says. If she says something that struck a nerve, you need to come up with a way to be responsible for your own actions and not let it take you there. Stop being petty, because y'all were both being petty in that moment, Martell, and I'm gonna need you to take accountability for that. Because let's look at the instances when you guys, when Mel finally came on the trip, you was talking about when y'all was on the slingshots. You wanted to play on words and have her drive with you because she can't drive. You texted her saying you didn't want to drive with me. So that was you poking the bear. So when she had the conversation with you, you made a point to talk about her video. But then it went back and forth, back and forth. The second incident, don't know why they allowed you to go back there and have a conversation when y'all weren't supposed to be in the same room after y'all just had a fight. She wants to have a conversation about her triggers. You walked away, she antagonized, back and forth. So y'all both need to start going tit for tat for each other. And, make a change, you know what I'm saying? So Lewis is in the confessional saying, I hear Martell saying he wants to make a change. He wants to do better and control his anger because Lewis has dealt with anger issues in the past. But he wants to see it more than he can believe it. So Martell's main objective is to talk to Mel about getting the kids full time because she's so busy. And he doesn't want random strangers raising his kids, giving them outside influence and stuff like that. I'm like, bullshit, Martell. Then before they sat down, he's all talking about the damn song again. How he doesn't want the song being sung by his kids being a bad representation of him. No, Martell, you became a bad representation to yourself when you left your whole family to have a 5-year affair with a woman and ended up having an outside child. That's misrepresenting you. That is you misrepresenting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the kids singing the song represents you, and it don't. But this whole thing about you want to have a conversation with Mel about the kids because you think she has too many babysitters. Listen, when it comes to being that parent that does everything, you need to have a village. And Mel has a village, and she's using it as she sees fit. And then talking about you feel like she's not putting the kids first because she's so busy. And you want to remind her that she has 4 kids. I'm sick of you using that. How she needs to remember she has 4 kids. Did you remember that you had 4 kids when you cheated on her with coleslaw? Did you remember that you had 4 kids when you made an outside child? Did you remember? I don't think so. I'm not faulting Mel for getting a babysitter, but you exaggerating it when it comes down to the whole 10 babysitters and stuff like that, because that's bullshit. And he's asking Lewis, what do you think? You really think she's going to go for that? You asking for full custody, full time? You think she's going to say yes? I think she's going to say yes. She's going to say hell no. Hell no. Because Lewis has been through it. He's been through a nasty divorce. He's been through fighting for time for his kid. You really want to go down this road? And the fact that, Martell, you've been trying to paint Mel to be this absentee parent this entire time. All because she's busy making a profit out of her pain based off of the pain you gave her. She's now more of a star than you could have been, which is what you wanted to be in the first place. But then he asked him again, do you honestly think this is for the sake of the kids? Do you think this is a good decision? He asked, I think it is. Remember what I said, I don't think it will be. And Martell is definitely being appreciative of the advice that he's given from Lewis, because he is another divorcee who actually had to fight for time for his kids. He's another one of those. But like I said before, what I'm saying, you trying to paint Mel as to be this busy person that she just don't have time for the kids is bullshit to me. Tisha. So Kimmy is trying to obviously keep true to her word to reach out to Tisha more, because that's what Tisha wanted her to do. So Maurice's main concern is to find out what's going on in Marceau's head, because since he dropped the depression bomb, it's been weighing on him. So they have dinner. As soon as they sat down, Kimmy looks directly at Tisha, and oh my God, you look just like Miss Wanda with her hair. She had the split bang and the bun, looked really pretty. And Marceau was like, oh God, I would have an extreme nightmare if I find Miss Wanda in my bed. Oh, me too. But you do look like Miss Wanda, Tisha. Sorry, Marceau. So after that, it was raining, and it rained on Kimmy's wedding day. Marceau gave her advice. So now they're trying to do the same thing to him. Give him advice. So what's going on with this depression thing? What's going on? How are you dealing with that? He said he's not going to do nothing about it. Nothing. And they're looking like, well, why not? What for? He wants to understand, if you're not going to do nothing about it, then why bring it up? Because you brought it at the table in Vegas. Nobody else was talking about depression. Well, actually, it was a question asked by Maurice, and Mel flipped it and says, how detrimental is depression in a relationship? And that's when you said, for a whole year, which was your successful year, you were depressed. So how could you just not move? How could you just move on and not find out a way to get help? Why? It really didn't make any sense, which is really sad. And he said, I'm recognizing the symptoms, and I feel like I'm self-analyzing it, and I feel like it could be different than this and this. Okay, well, that might not be a bad thing, but I don't know why you won't seek professional help, so they can definitely tell you what it is that you have. Because he keeps on saying stress, along with there's not enough time in the day, which I could definitely understand it, but is it stemming from something else, or is it life? What is it stemming from? So it's a project. I think it's Scott's manner that's really taking a toll on him, which has been a year. He said, okay, what if I finish this project and yet nothing else happens? So it could have been just stress from the job. But also, if something else was to unfold, then it could be something deeper than that. Again, why won't you seek professional help? But he feels like he doesn't want to walk away. You want me to stop working? You want me to stop doing that? So Tisha is basically feeling like if he doesn't say nothing to me, it's not my business. If I'm asking him about it, it's not my business. Because it's him. He's the one that wants to take it and hold it, and he wants to figure it out and leave his wife in the dust, not knowing what's going on with him. So that's why she's asking. He does not talk to me. Excuse me. He does not talk to me. He does not communicate with me. So at the end of it, she's kind of like, I don't know why he won't talk to me. But then she says, okay, what can I do to help you? He said, you should listen. I'm like, listen what? That's all she's been doing, is listening to you. You don't listen to her. Like I said in my other videos, you feel like what she says doesn't matter. And it's so funny that he also said, when you're trying to talk to me about something and I tell you something and you keep on talking, it makes me feel like my words are zero. That's how Tisha feels. She feels like every word out of her mouth don't make sense to you. Every word out of her mouth doesn't equate to what you're trying to say or what you're trying to talk about. Like, she cannot fathom what you're trying to say. She cannot understand what it is you're trying to say, which is BS to me, Marceau. You are practically crying for help, but you don't want to accept the help that's given to you. You want to control how the help is given to you because you want to be able to make it seem like this is what you've been doing this entire time, or you've been feeling this entire time, but it only had to work when I say it has to work. I don't like that. So she's like, I'm just here to just listen. Sit in the corner and just listen. That's all I'm here to do. Yep. And then she feels like when it comes to him saying things like that, I respect his wishes, but depression is more of a concerning factor. And I feel like you holding it in and not talking to me is a concern. And Kimmy, as a nurse, you open that door and saying it's concerning to me. Why aren't you trying to seek help? I need y'all enough time. I'll wait till I get it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. When you say you're going to get to it, it could be so many things that's happening where you can never get to it. You need to turn off the work switch. Turn it off and worry about your health. Sometimes that's just like with the workplace it is right now. I had anxiety attacks when I worked at my job. I had headaches. I couldn't breathe. I literally would be just sick approaching my job because I did not want to be there anymore. And I would fight it because I had to work. I had to be able to support my family along with my husband. We had to support. So I know what you're going through, Marceau, but you cannot let it fester and sit until you wait for the last minute to get help. Because that means you can have a breakdown, get into the hospital, it become more serious than what it is, all because you did not want to find the time to seek help. And then it makes yeah, so at the same point in time, it's like, who do you confide into? If you don't want to confide in Tisha, you don't want to confide in professional, you don't confide in Maurice because he said he don't tell me shit. So who do you confide in, Marceau? Who do you talk to? Because you got to be talking to somebody. If this is the first time we're hearing this, somebody have got to have heard you complain about this more than once, because this is really crazy how you are holding all of this in and you're not letting an outlet. You don't have an outlet of getting it out, which is very sad. So, of course, again, Tisha is feeling like, I'm your wife. At the end of the day, if something happens to you, who does that hurt the most? Me and the kids. So I want to know why you don't want to seem like you could talk to me. Kimmy said maybe it's the spouse, which is why he doesn't want to talk to you. I don't think Kimmy meant that in a shady way. I think because, I don't know, Marceau wants to protect her from him expressing his feelings. I have no idea why, but that's your wife. You should be at your vulnerable moments with your wife. Y'all both should have vulnerable moments where there's no judgment. There's no judgment zones. There's no weak zones. There's none of like that. If I'm your wife, I could definitely be there to support you and help you and give you all of my attention. So that way you can have a safe place to talk to me. If you're not doing that with her, who are you doing that with? Tisha took it as shade because she said in her confessional, after all we just went through in Vegas, here goes Kim with the shade, making it seem like it's my fault, and she's blaming me for Marcel's depression, that he doesn't want to talk to me. That's not what she meant, Tisha. That's not what she meant. And, yep, I said all that. Yeah, so at the end of it, you know what I'm saying, we want to understand how can we help you. He said, listen, I'm 41. I've had 3 jobs since I was 13. That's all I know is work. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't have a balanced life. I'm so unbalanced right now. I don't know how to turn it off. And that's what they want him to do, which is what Tisha's been asking for this entire time. I want to spend time with you. The kids want to spend time with you. But you feel like if you was to break you in this hamster wheel that you're in, that you just going, that you can't stop, for some reason you feel like you will miss out on something if you don't work. But the fact that's what Tisha's point is. You're so focused on making sure that your kids don't want for nothing, we don't want for nothing. You're missing being in it. You're missing being in the families you're providing for because you're so busy working. You're not seeing the fruits of your labor. You're not seeing where all your hard work has given us. You're so busy working, you're not seeing it. Yep, because same point in time, Kimmy said, you cannot just open that door and say you have depression and folks just going to move on by. No, that's a very concerning topic to talk about. I am struggling with depression. There are times where I feel like I don't have the mood to do anything. I just get in such a sunken place. I just want to sit down and not move, not go nowhere, which is very sad because I have very young children that are very active and I want to be present for them. And I'm working on that every day. And then he tries to flip it and say, okay, we're taking this too far. Y'all going a little bit too far with this because y'all basically trying to say, I say my knee hurts and y'all want to pay for my surgery. That's not what they're saying, Marceau. What the fuck are you doing? It's the same shit you did last episode where it was a playful fun for you to go up to the chapel and spread your love for your wife. You want to talk about refinances, your mortgage and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's not what they said. They're saying you came out of your mouth and said you are depressed. They're giving you ways of figuring out a way to get help. You are saying no. You're saying no. You don't want it. So how is it you don't want to fight for something that you can understand and fight through it, versus then you just saying, I'm just going to sit in it and just sit in it and sit in it and just stress till I can't stress no more? No, that makes no sense to do. Why, if you have a way to get help, you should get help, versus you acting as if you have no other options, but you do. You just don't want to choose them because you can't control how it's being done. You can't control it. It doesn't make sense to you because it never does. Depression is something that we cannot automatically define. You know what I'm saying? It's a feeling. It's a mode. It's how we look at things. There is no light switch that we can just turn off depression. There is none. Some people deal and live with depression. Hello. Lots of people deal with it. They deal with it by reading, painting, drawing. You need to find a way to put your depression in something that can make you feel better about yourself. You need to find a way of doing it. Not just letting it sit and simmer. It is not healthy. And Tisha, she brings up a very sad moment. An aunt of hers died because she had a lump in her chest. She did not take the time to go get it checked out so she could figure out a way to live through it or get it fixed. She just lived her life, didn't take the time, and then by the time she did get it fixed, or by the time she did realize what was wrong, all of the entire the cells, or the cancerous cells, I believe, or pretty much the disease that was in her body, we don't know from what, but the fact that the symptoms that the lump that was in her chest spread around her entire body. By the time she wanted to get checked out, she was gone. Now she started to cry because I don't want it to be like that for you. I don't want you to wait for the last minute that you want to get help. I don't want you to do that while we have the ability for us to get help now. Again, you feel like it's none of her business to talk about, which I don't want to understand why. You trying to protect her is hurting her. The fact that she is so lost and so clueless as to what her husband is feeling, it makes her seem as if, what the hell am I here? Am I his wife? Why am I here if he's not trusting me to talk to me? So again, talking about seeking help, Maurice, because Marceau's main point, he grew up poor, did not have nothing. He wanted to work hard, but he did not have to want anymore. Now it's come to the point where as much as everything that I sacrificed to get to here, do I still value my life worthy of what I did to get here? Can I still enjoy it if I worked so hard to get here? I've sacrificed a way to get here. I've sacrificed time with my wife. I've sacrificed time with my kids. Can I now be put in a place where I can enjoy it without feeling like I still have to work? Can I enjoy it? So Maurice, he jumped in and said, listen, bro, I hear you. We grew up poor. So now we worked hard as well. We worked as hard as we ever did to make sure we never have to want anything again. But how about we go to therapy and we can figure it out together? I'm not doing that. I wanted to throw my phone into the screen because I feel like this was pretty much spoken to you in so many different ways. Your brother, I hear you. Your provider spirit, you came from nothing, now you something. I'm hearing this, but I feel like you still need to talk to somebody. Kimmy, coming from a nurse perspective, this isn't healthy. You can't say you're depressed and don't want to find out more about it and where it's coming from. Your wife, who is very concerned, very scared for you, and you're not listening. You're not hearing them feeling scared for you. They're worried for you. You keep on saying, it's stress, I'll deal with it. I'll just suck it up. I'll deal with it. It's okay. I ain't got to, it's okay. I'm just going to fight through it and see where it goes. No, Marceau, you can't do that. Okay, I'm done. Let me calm down. Because that really made me mad. That after all of what was said to him, all of the advice that was given to him, he still could not take it because it wasn't coming from him. It didn't make sense to him. But my soul, because I don't want to cry. I'm keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Martell, he is at this coffee shop, so he gets a conversation with Mel. They have a conversation about it, and first they talk about Vegas and talking about their triggers and what needs to be understood. If we know those triggers, let's not point at them. And yeah, the whole thing about how if my triggers was understood, then I wouldn't have been in 2 instances within 24 hours fighting you if my triggers were understood. So what's next? Yeah, the whole thing about, well, I apologize. Martell, I apologize. Mel is up and through with the apology. She said, "Pa, cry me a motherfucking river. All your apologies have become so much I cannot even believe them anymore because you have not done what you have apologized for. You're still being petty." So apparently Martell wants to gaslight her again by saying, at the end of the day, I've done more on my part than you've done yours. Out of 12 years, I've ever heard only one apology from you. And you've done you've done more worse than me than anything. She said, what have I done to you? What worse have I done to you? Name them. Name them. Name them. You can't name something that I've done more worse than you. Name something that I have done worse than you've done worse to me. I want you to name them. He couldn't. All he kept on saying was, you left the house for a whole day. I sure the fuck did. And went to a hotel. I did. I did because of how you talk. How you talk to me. Your attitude. Your mouth. We couldn't even celebrate our first anniversary because of how you was talking to me. I didn't like that at all. Gaslighting. Just keep it 100. You've been disrespecting me for years. Get out of my face, Martell. And then he's like, stop, calm down. You so loud. You disrespecting me. Martell, you probably disrespected me. Get the fuck out of here. He said, I did not. Well, too bad you didn't care about your public image. Otherwise, you can keep your penis in the household. He said, let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about the kids. No. Because you kept on, you kept on. You kept on antagonizing and gaslighting her. You don't like... I can't stand Martell. I can't. Anyway. Then he said, listen. She's asked, what is it you want? What do you want? I believe Mel was starting to hold back tears in this moment. Her eyes like she was about to cry. He said, listen. I wanted to talk about having full-time custody with my kids. She's like, what? What are you talking about? What? I mean, I understand why you have 10 different babysitters. I don't want any outside influences, other kids, other people raising my children and stuff like that. Because he remembers there was a time where one person babysat them. He had 3-4 people. She's like, first of all, can I speak? Let me speak. First of all, let me answer you. First of all, hold up. Babysitters, I had 2. No, I remember there was 3. Okay, but that was their cousin. That was your cousin, not a babysitter. She babysat them for about 3 hours because you was not ready to take them. When they got out of school, you was not ready. You was not there on time to take them. So your cousin watched them for about 3 hours. That's one. And I wouldn't even count my cousin as a babysitter either. That's his family. So then, all right, well, tell me about the time that you want to go back? You want to go back there? Okay, let's go back there. So she breaks it down. She tells them that she had them for a week. She went to Atlanta because she had a speaking event. So in the midst of her having a speaking event, she had Marcus, her brother, watch her kids for about 3 hours. Then she came back home and saw her mom, her aunt, her cousin. Had a great time. She had another gig in Atlanta. The kids was watching it for one night. And she said, so what? So what? So what? I want to understand something. So what? Huh? So what? So at the end of the day, it's bullshit that you are continuously trying to paint Mel out to be this absentee parent. That she's so busy that she's just dropping kids off to anybody who sees fit. No, Martell, that's what you would do. She has always planned a way for her kids to be good. And she's using her village. A village that's been present in y'all marriage the entire time. Marcus, her mother, the Brittany, the friend. Get the fuck out of my face, Martell. So you all talking about having this and this and this and that. Good night. So when I finish, I can answer your question. All this and that. Like, it's bullshit. So this is not moving forward. This is not moving forward. You want to move forward, but you busy talking about this shit. All this facts. I was wondering who watching my kids. Martell, if you were so concerned about watching your kids, you shouldn't have been sneaking out and having sex with another woman and bringing an outside child. I cannot keep that. I cannot keep saying that because it's bullshit to me. So she said, listen, if you're the man that you think you are, I will have no problem. My camera's sliding because I was hitting the table. I will have no problem with calling you first so you can know where your kids are at. I will have no problem. But I don't think you want it to be about the kids. You want to know where I'm at so you can use that against me. So you can paint me out to be that. I tell you, I have a concert in Atlanta that I need the kids to be gone for you for a couple of days. But yeah, you might use that against me and say, okay, well, she said she had a concert in Atlanta, but yeah, she's on the gram at the club. She's over here at the gram. She's over here in the beach. What the fuck, Martell? What the fuck? This controlling thing. She said, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not the absentee parent who's too busy. Because when I told them my brother watched it for a few hours, that was a few hours. But then I came back and say, can we go swimming? I still make it a priority to be there with my kids when I do my business. Something that you do not do. Hence why he's saying it will be it will be struggle at first before full-time parent, but I'll make that sacrifice. All because you never done it before, Marcel. You've never done it. Mel is doing it. She's being that full parent, being present always. Okay? I swear to God, it was so pissed. I was getting pissed off that he was just gaslighting her, trying to paint her out to be this parent who's just too busy. She can't think about her damn kids. Martell, was you thinking about your kids when you were doing what you was doing? I don't think so. Everything you're trying to paint Mel out to be this absentee parent is bullshit. It will never trump what you did to her. It will never trump it. Because what... Oh my God, I can't. Then he's all talking about how you left your kids in Alabama and went to Georgia when that's 4 or 5 hours away. And her kids are not with strangers, Marcel, as you're trying to make it seem as if she's with family. Family that has been a part of their kids' lives for years. Years. Is this referring to the live that he did about Marcus? Is that why he's questioning who's watching his children? This is bullshit. If you have known her brother throughout the duration of y'all marriage, you know he would never harm your children. Oh my God. And then he's all talking about, well, at least I'm the one who get the girls' hairs done. She said, no, you a motherfucking lie. For a whole year, I was the one getting the girls' hairs done. Tuition, clothes. You didn't do shit because you didn't have no money to do it. I'm the one that sent the money for them to get their hair done. Everything I did was on me. You didn't do shit, Martell. Good night. So he's like, I follow petition. Good, I follow petition too. Follow it up and I will. Good night and goodbye. Because I swear that was some fucking bullshit. That was, oh, I'm getting so mad. I'm trying to calm down. I was getting so mad. I was getting so mad at that scene because I feel like, what ground do you have to tell a woman who has her 4 kids full time, and yet she's holding so many hats? Author, businesswoman, singer. What, Martell? You probably need them more than you think because you have nothing else going on for yourself. Did you take your builder's license yet? You probably want full time so Mel can pay you to watch your kids, but yet I feel like when push comes to shove, when you want a break, you instantly call Mel and say, come get your kids. Or you drop them off with your mother. I just know it. Because I really hate, this is the same thing he's been doing since the beginning of the season, which is painting Mel out to be a busy woman who can't watch her kids, which is a damn lie. She said, if I take my kids, I'll take my kids. I've never had a problem taking my kids nowhere. Y'all, I'm done. I don't want to get too pissed off because I feel like I need to drink. Y'all, I said, y'all, I have nothing more to say on this matter. I will see you guys later. Please stay tuned for my next video. Bye.